Why are we talking about him today? Well, a lot of stuff's happened. Let me just do some of my handiwork and get some of these links. A lot of stuff's happened in the last couple of weeks for Dan Bilzerian. I'm going to get it on this screen now. Let's get Nathaniel's comment off. A lot of stuff happened that's potentially shattering the image that he's been painting on his Instagram page, you know, in the last, I think he's been on there for 10 years now, growing that following of 34 million pounds. So articles like this from Forbes have been popping up in the last 2 weeks, just showing like behind the scenes of his lifestyle and kind of what is going on with him and his businesses that he runs. So here we go. Dan Bilzerian's company lost $50 million last year. Any reactions or comments to that, guys?
What's his company? How's it lost that? Like, how and what is his company? Like,
it's that one with the horns that's all over his Instagram. What's it called? The company?
Yeah, let's find it. So I did a bit of research. His company is called Ignite. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get some images up so people can
see like Fire Festival.
So here's the logo, like Ignite. Yeah, it sounds like one of those scammy companies, isn't it? That's going to con you up your money. So basically, that's the logo there. It's basically in the cannabis industry. They sell like CBD, cannabis, now that it's becoming legal. Things like vodka as well. And Dan Bilzerian is the face of all the marketing material. Like if we click here, look, he's the face of the company. He's the majority shareholder. They do vape pens as well. So this is his company that we're referring to in these articles. If we jump back to the article I was on, and that company that I just showed you that sells CBD, vodka, so I hate all these ads that come up on, lost 50 million last year. So clearly he's doing something wrong as a businessman. Like even though his Instagram account's popping off and he's looking like he's got everything under control and everything's going great for him, he's got an unlimited amount of money. Clearly, he's an amazing marketer, but terrible businessman, and that's kind of what we're going to dig into. We're going to dig into that link.
There, aren't it, that's caused that?
Yeah. So let's scroll down. See what's going on.
Arguably, you'd say that he's a terrible marketer if his business is failing.
Yeah, so. I was thinking.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point. And this is saying here, Dan Bilzerian is great at spending money, which we've all seen on his Instagram account. So significant time and resources are invested to remind the world of this, which is obviously his Instagram account, which is just no subtlety involved at all, is it? It's just shouting about how like wealthy he is, how great his life is. But let's scroll down. Okay, here we go. So yeah, 50 million pounds loss with the company Ignite International Brands Limited. That's what happened in just 1 year, 2019. So according to their annual report filed last month, the company lost $67 million Canadian, which is $50 million American.
Wow. And
yeah, that's like, it's an unthinkable amount of money, isn't it? To make, let alone to lose. It's nuts. So how did they lose that much money? So here we go down. So the company are being a bit secretive about it. Like people have not been at the company have not been replying to emails asking about it. What's going on? Why are the accounts looking so shady? What's the annual report showing a loss for? But here's what the annual report says. So they're making money. This is what's really interesting. They're making money here through selling company stock and also raising money through debt. So that's how the company primarily makes money, by selling ownership of the company, and debt, I believe, is another form of taking on like investors and stuff, right? It's another form of borrowing money, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, if they've got loans and things outstanding against the business, that goes on your balance sheet, so it would make sense. And again, but you won't want to make that much of a loss. Like, arguably, you want a business to break even so you don't pay profits, pay tax on profits. But
it's saying that they use debt to make money, and I'm pretty sure debt, when it's looked at in that sense, it's just another. It just means you borrowed more money, right? If you're in debt, you've borrowed money, and that's some more money that's come in.
Yeah. So if you got a loan, if you borrow 50 grand, but you think you can turn it into 100 grand, you've got yourself into 50 grand worth of debt under the assumption that you're going to double it, which is the entrepreneur's dream.
So what this article is saying here, look, is the company that's meant to be selling cannabis, vodka, vape pens, they're actually primarily making their money from selling stocks of the company and by raising money through debt, so by getting loans. So first off, like, that's not a great sign if all of your money is by basically borrowing money from other people. And you can guarantee that he's able to borrow that much money because of the image that he's portraying on Instagram, isn't it? Like, everyone thinks money grows on trees, like anything he touches turns into money. And it's making this image of this really like business, like powerhouse that really can't go wrong in business. So we scroll down. So yeah, they made 25 million from shares and 19 million from debt. So scroll down. So they've got a lot of money. So where did the money go last year? The $50 million that they lost. Okay. If we scroll down a bit more. If you've got any questions, by the way, guys, while I'm looking through this, just ask away.
It's fascinating. It's like I'm like hooked. I want to know what he did. Like, where's he lost all his money?
Yeah, that's where it is. Operating costs.
Yeah. So in 2019, Ignite lost 43 million on operational costs alone. So it lost 67 in total, but 43 of that was operational costs, mostly marketing and promotion, leasing, so renting workspaces, and paying staff and execs. But this is quite an interesting one, isn't it?
Just funding his lifestyle.
Yeah, he's just basically paying influencers. So
and himself.
Yeah, and himself.
It's like what we need, lads, right? What we need to do is we need to get a plane, right? Get a bunch of strippers, right? Bring the cocaine, and we're going to Miami, and from Miami we're going to another island. We'll get a yacht, and then we'll just get a bunch of photos for Instagram, and then we'll worry about CBD later. He's done that for a year and gone, shit, we haven't made any money.
Yeah. Even on that photo, even on that Instagram that you showed earlier, the photo of the tank, it had the logo cut out of the actual tank. So that's another thing there.
Yeah.
Like, just like,
can you imagine board meeting, lads, what we're going to do is, right, we're going to buy a tank, but we can claim it on a market expense if we put his logo on the rifle of the gun, like, the barrel of the rifle. Who's in? Any takers? Right, we're doing it.
Exactly. Marketing is such a ambiguous, undefined word, isn't it? Like, anything really can be justified as marketing, especially if you're slapping your company's logo on all of these things that you're buying. So yeah, the fact that he lost all this money and it's just ruled under marketing kind of like raises a bit of concern and like a bit of curiosity at that stage, doesn't it? And you're pretty much on the mark. We dig more into it. You'll see exactly where that money, which you got to remember, the money is being made by just borrowing it and taking it off other people. They're not really selling any products. So it's just money he's getting from the public, getting from people, is going towards marketing. So let's go down further. Okay, cool. A bit further down. Okay, here we go. So the budget for marketing in 2019 was 22.26 million, more than twice what the company managed to make in sales.
Wow, that's mad.
Yeah, and like me and Josh, even you, Joe, like, we're all involved in business, and one of the really early things that I learned in business, and also should really be pretty much common sense, is your marketing needs to be lower than your sales. And a good average is, like, for every $1 that you spend on marketing, you want to be making $2 back in sales, to like double your money back. That would be like a dream figure to hit. So the fact that it's the other way around, for every $2 they're spending in marketing, they're getting $1 back in sales. It's terrible business, like awful business management. And even further, for every $1 in sales, they spent $2 on just general and administrative costs. So that's more than where the money went. You got 18.4 million on general and administrative costs, 22 on marketing. And there we go. The article goes on to say
18.4 million on admin costs.
It's outrageous, isn't it? In 1 year, this might offer the best explanation yet on how Bilzerian funds the lifestyle for which he's so famous for. Fame which he turns into his lifestyle.
That admin cost is like totally Wolf of Wall Street. Like, right, lads, we need some prostitutes. We're going to put through as an admin cost. That's exactly like full Wolf of Wall Street. Costs.
Yeah, get like 50 bottles of Grey Goose vodka in. That's marketing. Getting some like prostitutes in, admin costs. Yeah,
and that's what you put through at the starting up Christmas party last year, wasn't it?
You've got to balance the book somehow, haven't you? So
I've seen the starting up tank driving down Headrow in Leeds.
It's as long as you slap the company logo on it, like it's justified marketing. Yeah.
Oh dear.
So let's go down a bit more. I just found this article, like, it just kept giving and giving as I was reading it. And also, as well as making money from his business, he also receives like the majority of his income from his dad's trust funds. So like he's going around saying that he's this amazing businessman that like makes so much money. He's even said that he's made tons of money off from poker in the past. He's like a great poker player, when really his money is coming from his dad's trust funds and from the people who buy into his brand and decide to like buy stock in his company and give him money. It's a complete scam.
He's always going to be okay. That's what he's probably thinking. I'm always going to be okay. If his business fails, he's got 32 million on Instagram. He's got that. He's got his followers. He's got his brand. He's got his, he's got everything that he can just fall back on no matter what. He's not going to run out of money. Yeah,
it's people like that never really ever see the repercussions of their actions. Like, they always come out on top. They find like loopholes and stuff. But it's just mad that like this is coming out into the public now. He's had this image of being like this like man's man, but like people, even though he's like showing off and living life, people buy into him and like him. But he's just turning around and like being shown for like using that brands and that personal brand that he's got and just using it to rip people off of their money and to spend it on his own lifestyle.
Yeah.
No one cares. It's 2020, man. Like, the world's gone mad. Like, that's like small fry, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Like,
what happened?
If I were going to declare something really bad in public, I'd probably do it now because it was going to pick up on it.
Yeah,
right, lads.
Let's the pandemic going on and the election, no one's going to notice, are they?
Let's release his accounts now because they won't give a shit about that.
Nah, you're right. I think let's say hi to some people. Hi, Sam. There we go. Hi, Sam. Thanks for asking.
He said it quite a bit in the comments. Hi, hi, Sam.
Hey.
Oh yeah, please say hi. Hey, hi. Oh, that doesn't sound very nice. All right. RJM's telling us to look on TMZ. Cool. We'll pop over there and see if we can find that article on it in a second. But I've got a few articles I'm going to run through myself before we get to that point. Tech Pro, hi back to you. Yes, but not in this podcast. This podcast is about Dan Bilzerian.
It's Apple Pro, that.
Is that Apple Pro? Is it a rebrand?
Rebrand. No, it's now Tech Pro.
Okay. Mixing it up. All right, cool. Let's get back to the story. So scroll down. So that's where he's got his money from. Okay, back to Ignite. So what we got here? So yeah, he's paying the money for models, yachts, cars, guns, stacks of cash. It's just saying, like, if it's in any way related to the company, which if you look at his Instagram, it's pretty clear that they are, because everything has got that goat horned logo on it, which Joe pointed out earlier. There's a good probability that he's writing this off as business costs, and it's all covering his lifestyle. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty crazy, like how someone is just using social media to just like, they're giving off an image of living this amazing style.
I think he's
this amazing lifestyle,
and smashing it.
Like the money that, or like the clout that's getting him, is he's funneling it back into himself so he can keep living that amazing lifestyle.
There's a guy on YouTube. He's grown massively. He's called Arak, and he sneaked into Dan Bilzerian's house party, and then Dan Bilzerian threatened to sue him, so he had to take his YouTube channel down. Not his channel, his video down. But
oh damn! So he's lawyered up, is he? Like he protects his image.
Yeah. So let's see what happens with this now.
Yeah. Hopefully this podcast doesn't get taken down. But then yeah, so it was kind of all theory at this point, you know, that like the books are showing that the company lost $50 million last year, but it's all kind of hype. It's underwritten as marketing admin costs, but there's no hard proof of like if it is actually going to like the boats and the yachts and stuff, or people just suspect that. But then skip forward a few more days, we've got this article that gets released, and Bilzerian is a renter. He uses someone else's credit card to pay his bills, and there's now a lawsuit against him. So this unwinded really quickly. If we'll scroll down, here we go. According to a lawsuit filed this week, Dan Bilzerian rents his houses and charges his 6-figure lifestyle to a credit card that someone else pays off. So there's a little glimpse of like his lifestyle that he's famous for living, all the women, nice food. So this focuses on his house. So he's always bragged that he owns this really expensive house, like $63 million house. See if I can show you it for a second, actually. He's always said that he owns it. It's his outright. And it's all down to his business and making money and stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is his house. Look, it's got a tennis court on the roof, home studios, like cinema. Obviously, this feeds into his Instagram posts, you know, showing off his house. I think there's a garage inside there that holds, holds like 30 cars, I think I read, in the garage. So this all feeds into his Instagram image, you know, and being the boss and being the dude. And he's telling people that he bought this house outright because he's just like such a baller. And then this lawsuit comes out, and he basically gets exposed for actually renting the house instead. And he's renting it. Yeah. And he's renting it $200,000 a month. But lo and behold, he doesn't pay the rent. It comes out of the company. So moving on, the house, everything else, the models, flights, yachts, is charged to the corporate tab of Ignite International Company. So this is confirming it. And this is all according to Curtis Heffernan, Ignite's recently ousted former president. So the guy that he used to have run the company, I think he got fired or he left the company. And then like all this mystery and secrecy of where Dan Bilzerian's money is coming from, he's just outed him that all the money that you're giving me to buy stock into the company stuff, it's just coming straight out of the company and paying for his like personal life.
How's it even got that far? You know, like if you imagine going through the rigmarole of getting invested into a company or into anything, like that due diligence initially, it'll be a case of like, oh, what's the plan? Where's the money going to be spent? What's Ignite do? Well, we're going to buy all these CBD products and sell them. We're going to set up a farm. But there's all that like legal stuff that they must have gone through to raise the capital to, you know, to get the company going. So all these investors have obviously invested into that, or he's actually gone to them and said, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise all this capital and we're going to put it against my personal brand, which means we can flog some weed on the side. And ultimately, we need it for marketing to propel this image. And all investors have gone, yeah, it's a good idea. And now it's turned sour. They're all like, it's a bad idea. Bullshit. Give me my money back. You know?
That's it. I think like he's obviously noticed his growing online social following. Like, he's got this money coming into social media from his dad's trust funds. So he started his social media account, put pictures up of women, cars, money, started growing a following, and he's like, hey, I've got an idea here. I can start a company, use my personal brand to suck people's money up, and then just spend it on myself, like moving forwards. And obviously people working in the company have kind of like allowed it to happen. Up until now, it's all been hush hush and secrecy. And then this guy steps out from being the CEO or the president and has just completely outed him for what he's doing.
There must be a lot more to it, though, to be fair.
There we go. So here's what happens. So according to the lawsuit, complaining about Dan Bilzerian's addiction to spending company money, that's what got him fired. So basically, he kept complaining to Dan, saying you can't use company money to fund your lifestyle. Like, it needs to be used for the company. And then Dan Bilzerian turned around and fired the president, and that's the guy who's now started the lawsuit. And basically, if we go down here, how it got found out was, where is it? A accounting company came in to run the accounts. Here we go. Trouble arose in May 2020. Red flags were raised by the accountant team doing the books in preparation for the annual report. According to the lawsuit, the accountants flagged $850,000 in company expenses that appeared to be personal in nature. included payments for charges racked up on his credit cards, his $500,000 yacht rentals, a six-figure 2-night trip to London, and a $65,000 Star Wars set. $50,000 bed frame. Well, I mean, with all the women he's got around there, he probably needs a good quality bed frame, doesn't he? To be honest.
Yeah.
What else did he bought? $75,000 paintball fields. So he bought his own paintball field, and he bought an $88,000 vault. The company also paid $26,000 to boost his Instagram followers. So, you know, those, hey, where are we? 32 million followers that we saw on his Instagram account earlier. The company is paying to grow those followers. So he might be paying for fake followers, or they might be paying for a marketing campaign. But those 32 million followers, a bulk of them have been like paid for and got through company funds.